Over a decade ago, the editors of the spring issue of the International Journal of Therapeutic Hypnosis were confronted with a fascinating, if not to say bizarre, article by a Canadian psychologist, Dr. Thomas Ruhill. In his article, Dr. Ruhill described his hypnotic sessions with adult East Asian immigrants to Toronto, who often had a difficult time adjusting to their new context. According to Dr. Ruhill's submission, a significant number of these patients, once inducted, began to refer to themselves as mythological figures from their homeland's ancient legends. A Kashmiri computer programmer being treated for depression began referring to himself in sessions as Indra, keeper of the divine net of heaven. A Chinese business consultant, having trouble with his 2 sons, revealed himself under hypnosis to be Song Jiang, god of thieves. An elderly Sri Lankan agriculturalist, who had been brought over to live with his daughter and son-in-law, would consistently hiss that he was really the king of the Nagas, once placed into a hypnotic trance. In one particularly odd case, a Korean teenager studying computer-aided design at the University of Toronto would refer to himself as Norganon, the wizard and lorekeeper of the Titans of Azeroth, which is a fictional universe developed for the World of Warcraft computer game. Dr. Ruhill immediately ruled out any supernatural agency, of course, and outright condemned any attempt to link this phenomenon to discredited experiments with hypnosis in past life regression or occultism. But the question remained. Had he stumbled across some aspect of the male adult immigrant's experience in Toronto that was causing this reaction, or was he somehow contaminating this subset of his patients with a drive to mythologize themselves when placed outside of waking consciousness? Dr. Ruhill's paper included a sociological examination of his affected patients' lives, a description of the protocols he used, and some fairly innocuous speculation, not really sufficient to address the matter at hand. The editorial board was divided over whether to include it. Dr. Ruhill was well credentialed, and his paper followed the appropriate format, but where some peer reviewers found it extraordinary and challenging, others found it absurd and silly. Was this a significant development, or a waste of time? In the end, the board decided by a small margin not to publish, the opinion of the majority being that this was a freak event, or that Dr. Ruhill had become a publicity seeker, and that it was not in the profession's interest to have this debate. Dr. Ruhill's paper was eventually published in the Canadian Journal of Comparative Mythology as part of an ongoing series called Life Shock, about how difficult it is to adjust to modern life. The Mythology Journal folded a year and a half later. 7 months after that, a Hindu immigrant actor in Los Angeles went on a shooting spree in a Disney backlot, claiming he was Prince Arjuna and that only through violent action could he be saved from violent action. The defense team flew Dr. Ruhill in to place him under hypnosis, and through a series of sessions cleared the defendant's head, allowing him to return to his old identity, competent to stand trial and make a temporary insanity defense. The editors of the International Journal of Therapeutic Hypnosis sent Dr. Ruhill an email asking him to provide an article on the protocols used to cure someone from delusions of divinity. He refused, politely stating that he did not believe they were really interested in the entirety of the phenomenon, on what it means to think oneself divine in a strange world, deep below the thoughts we admit to having, and the strategies we adopt that minimize ourselves to keep the peace.